So we start with importing the libraries that we need. We have OS, request, JSON, all of these, and I'll tell you why. So OS, if you know basic Python, OS basically allows you to interact with the operating system. Request is to send HTTP requests to web pages so we can get their content. JSON is because we're using it to format links. .env loads the environment variable, which is an env file, where we're gonna store the API key. Beautiful soup is used to parse HTML, XML documents so that we can get information really easily. The display, Python display is like displaying content in a readable format, especially in Jupyter notebooks, which is what I'm using as my IDE. And openai is what we're using to basically run the whole program and generate all the summaries. Okay, so let's go over what the assistant does. We obviously don't want it to just call GPT, because you can do that yourself. Like, you can go on GPT chat interface and type in what you want. We want this to effectively summarize contents of a page you provide, find appropriate links on the page and discard the irrelevant ones, go to the appropriate ones, get relevant information which contributes to your understanding, and summarize that, add it to the summary as well, and then organize it in a way where you know where everything came from. Okay, so we start with the URL, which is the basis of the program, right? We're gonna need a URL from the user. They're gonna submit the URL, and that's pretty much where the program will take off. Load the .env file allows us to access the .env file, which we have over here. And we're saying that the API key is labeled openai API key, which is what you are gonna name it in this thing, which actually should be that. It's very case sensitive. Okay, so you have this. The model is the one you choose to use. Now, OpenAI has a ton of models, and I'm using the 4.0 mini, which is really fast and really cheap. It's ridiculously cheap, actually, but they have other models. You can pick whichever one you want to use, and then you want to use OpenAI is equal to this. You might get an error if you don't include this, so I would recommend that you do include that. All right, let's get into the website scraping section. So the website class is what we use to fetch and parse the web page. The website class is created to handle the content of the site as well as the links of the site. So we have the links, all the links in the site, which we get here. As you can see, the link.gethref, all of this is getting us all the links. And above that is how we handle the content. We use the init method, this one right here, which fetches the web page content using the requests library we imported, and it parses through it using Beautiful Soup's HTML parser. It extracts the title, the main text of the page, and it removes irrelevant things like styles and images and inputs and all of that. And this way we end up with just the content on the page as well as the links on the page. Okay, so now here we're getting into the actual AI part and the LLM engineering section. So the system prompt main, if you know Python, then maybe you know everything before this, but this part might be new to you if you don't do LLM work. The system prompt main is what we use to give OpenAI LLMs context. So basically, we're telling it how to respond. So we're ensuring certain things in the way it responds. One, we're telling it to talk from the perspective of an assistant that analyzes a web page. Two, we're telling it to give us information about the content and not the organization. And three, ignore these company descriptions and ads and all the marketing stuff. If you don't say this, it will give you everything. So it's kind of like you give it the base instruction first before you tell it what to do specifically. We're saying using these rules is how you're going to work. And then the work it's gonna do, we'll give it in the user prompt. So before we get to that, we have another portion here, which is what we're gonna use to summarize the main page. So the website, we're just calling it because we have the class website, which takes in the URL we imported earlier. Response, OpenAI chat completions create. If you do LLM engineering with OpenAI, you're gonna get used to using this phrase a lot, because all the time you pretty much say response is openai.chat.completions.create. It's the basic model to call ChatGPT's LLM. The model is the model we defined earlier, And here is where you have system and user. So system is exactly what we have over here. That'll be our system prompt. So it's gotten the system prompt, but it doesn't know what it's gonna work with yet. And the user is where we give it all of the information it needs to carry out the task we gave in the system prompt. That's why we have the website title and the content of the page. So this is the first main summary function, which is why I called it summarize main page. Next is identifying relevant links. So we have another system prompt. This is another call. So there's 3 calls total in this code. The second call is this one, to get relevant links. So again, you can see we have to give it context. You're provided with a list of links from a web page. Only find the ones that are relevant for understanding the main topic of the page and ignore all the other links. So it knows from what position it's looking at the task we're gonna give it in the user prompt. Then we use a function here where we pull all of the links that we had in the website class, and that's what I'm calling links, which is just get all links, right? Then to get relevant links, we're using the system prompt links, what we had here. So again, remember what that was about, to help it understand where it's gonna respond from, like what perspective. And the user content is basically this, right? The full links list that we had over here. Okay, so we now have summarized content and we have relevant links. The last step is to get each of those links. Right now they're in a dictionary form with one key and all the links being one value separated by commas. So we need to split them up into a list of just links, not in dictionary form, but in list form, and then parse each of them. This part, we'll split them up. It's pretty simple, Python, right? List relevant links values, 0 for link in links, and we get the list of links. All right, so now display markdown is gonna start displaying the main summary. While the main summary is displaying, the external links will be summarized in the background while the main summary gets displayed. So as you can see here, I said link for link in linked lists if link is not the URL. Basically, we don't want to include the URL of the main page in our external link summary, because then we're just wasting API calls and it's gonna summarize the main page twice. Now, if this doesn't work, what you can do is just set links list and have it go from 1 to 6, because 0 is usually the link of the page itself. So we can ignore link 0 and go from 1 to 6. If you have more API tokens and you want a huge summarizer, you can take away the 6 and simply run it with no maximum, and it'll just scrape all the ones that it finds that are relevant. All right, so then we pretty much have a for loop here, which goes from the range of the linked list, parses through each of them, and summarizes them. This is our third API call. So we had our first one, main summary, second one, relevant links, third one, summarizing external relevant links. And that's the 3 API calls that we make in this code. And then we display the link summary. All right, so that's pretty much the code. This method of calling LLMs from OpenAI is very specific to OpenAI. Like when I get into Olama later in the video about the free way of doing this, you can't call it like this, you have to use a different way. But we'll probably be using ChatGPT a lot if you end up doing LLM engineering or agentic builds. So you will get used to this, and once you get the hang of it, it's pretty good. Okay, so let's run this now so I can just show you what the output would look like. So as you can see, it wants a URL. I'm just gonna go ahead and give it let's just go with like cnn.com, edition.cnn.com. I think that should be fine. So it got the API key, it's parsed the content, and right now we're getting the huge page summary, so the summary of the entire CNN edition page. So here you can see all gathered links, and there are many. Look at all of these links. Look at all of these links, but not all of them are relevant. Like, there's so many links. Now, there's no way you need to know what all those links are about. If you want to, you can obviously take away the conditions we put, but you don't need, I wouldn't recommend that. But this now is how we've taken the the dictionary values, as you can see, and we've pulled out just the links we're gonna use. We come here, we parse through it, and it's on, it's done. All of the external links as well. Nice, cool. So let's go through this. Executive summary of current global events and issues. This is the summary of the main CNN page. This is a summary of the first relevant link it got, which is about Israel and the Middle East. This is about the election. All right, I want to do one more, just so you guys can get a way better idea about how well this actually works. So I have another one here. It's for a blog. I'll probably open the blog over here so you guys can have a look at it. This is the blog. As you can see, it's nice, it's full, it's got tons and tons of links. So how good is the filter search? Let's test it out. I'm gonna use this link right now. I'm gonna run this again, paste the link, and this time, clear all outputs. I'm gonna wait at the bottom so that you can see the streaming process happen live. So we'll wait down here so we can watch it print itself out. Now this does take some time because it is doing quite a lot of work. And after this, I'll go into the costs of how much the APIs are. I run this a lot of times. There you go. So you can see it generates the first one. So how AI is revolutionizing SEO. Link 1, SEO and its evolution with AI. Link 2, how Google's AI overview is affecting your SEO. So you can see we started off reading how AI is revolutionizing SEO. And now we've got about digital marketing trends. We've gone into SEO and AI evolution, all under the same topic, so that we don't actually have to read all of the sites. Like, because reading this take a lot of time. And like, why? Featuring proofing your business with AI-powered SEO. It's really good at finding the relevant links. Look, essential steps to craft a winning SEO strategy. So there you have it, like pages. And like I said, you can go way further than this by taking off the limit we put here on the list. And you can go further than that by actually taking off this. We truncated it at 5,000. If you remove that, you would have long summaries. I don't know what's the point of a long summary, but you could do it, like if you wanted to, you know? And you'd also be feeding in more information from the web page into ChatGPT LLM that we're calling. Okay, so that's all of the basic stuff of the code. And now let's talk about how you guys can go out there and do this yourself. So assuming you have Python installed already and you have an IDE and that you have all that going, all you would really do is take the code from the description below, which is in a GitHub repo. And if you are on Windows, just go ahead and open your command prompt and just type in this long thing, which you can't see. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put it here. Okay, right. This pip install request python-dotenv if you are on Windows, and if you are on Mac, you're gonna put instead this. And I'll put this all, don't worry, it'll be in the description so you can just copy it, because I don't want you guys to, you know, type all that out. It's over there, just copy that. All right, you got everything installed, the dependencies are there. The next thing we need is to get an API key. The link is in the description. When you click on that link, you're gonna get to a page which is gonna ask you to sign in or sign up. Once you sign in or sign up, you're gonna get a test key. Now please listen to me. The test key, this one, you'll get a test key, but it'll be in a box. The test key, copy it before you press OK, because if you don't copy it and you press OK, you will not access the key. Once you press OK, that's it. The key is gone. It's hidden here. As you can see, I have no more access to any of these keys. So before you press OK, when you get the test key, press the copy button first. Now, with the copy button, all you're gonna do is open the automations file. And that's why I just remove the env so I can show you how to do it from scratch. Open the automation file. You're gonna press new file in your IDE. You're gonna put .env, enter. And here you're going to call open AI underscore API underscore key. And you're gonna paste in your API key. That's it. That's all you need. You run this to make sure it has all the dependencies installed, and run this to make sure you're able to access your OpenAI key. And then you're good to go. Now, from here, you can build your own agents using this framework. You can go and use any of the other agents that I'm going to release in the next coming weeks. You're free to do anything you want with all of this. By the way, you can take it and do whatever you want. And if you want to know how to do it for free, I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, you can replace your GPT-4 with Ollama. Now, if I go here and I show you how much it costs for GPT-4, let's go to my usage. Look at this. I've spent, and as you can see, I'm using it quite a bit, very often. I've only spent 15 cents. It is really cheap. You have to load a minimum is $5, you load it. But then it charges you per token, like per million tokens. So I've only spent 14 cents. When you do it for your first couple of months, you're gonna not even spend 10 cents. You'll be spending less than 10. So you can use this for the power that it has. Or go ahead and install Ollama. My previous video is about how to install DeepSeek and also how to install Ollama. Install it, replace GPT 4.0 here with the Ollama model. So I'll just go ahead and write here for Ollama instead of OpenAI. You're gonna do this, you're gonna import Ollama, and this is how you're gonna do it. There's no like system and user, there's just user and content. That's all you need to know, and you import Ollama, that's it. And we can set the model to, this is 3.18 billion parameters. In the video, I showed you how to install Llama 3.2. So all you will do is turn this into 3.2, just like that. And then you're good, you can run the entire thing for free. It's less powerful, but you have it for free. All right, that's it pretty much. If you have any ideas of what you want me to build, let me know. And other than that, I will see you guys in the next one.